Hey, Tay here, so welcome to the VR Tech channel. So there's been multiple reports on what we're gonna see in next years, talking about Oculus Meta development for VR headsets. Something completely different from what we were expecting. Let's get into it. It's not secret that Meta is working on many different VR headsets. At the end of the day, there's a lot of investment for their metaverse, but yeah, they want to be a major player in the VR industry moving forward, even when competition is finally gonna catch up. Because yes, they will, and there are many different companies with a big interest in the metaverse. Think about Apple, for example, that was rumored to release their headset this year, and probably gonna see it next year after a little delay. Actually, it's from 3 years that we see next year, but yeah, you get the point. There's Sony with their PlayStation VR 2 headset, coming also allegedly this year, or because everything is always delayed, it's gonna arrive maybe early next year. But for sure, we're gonna know more about it at the summer events this year. Everything seems to be already ready and set on stone, so we know the specs, we know pretty much everything. We just need a release date and the titles to play with it. And of course, talking about Meta itself, we know that we have a headset arriving later this year, probably around September. Project Cambria that was already announced directly from Zuckerberg, that seems to be already out in the wild, developers are working with it, and we know from a recent post directly from Zuckerberg for the different investors that it's not going to be a gaming device like the Quest 2 is, but it's going to be made for productivity, where the big goal of this headset is actually to replace your laptop. Possible or not, we don't really know. To be honest, I'm using the Vario Aero, that is the headset with the higher resolution on the market. The screen is crystal crisp and it's absolutely a breeze to use it, but using a VR headset for productivity as your laptop or connected to your desktop and use it for everything is still not that ideal. So I don't know if there's something that they can solve with the Project Cambria. At the end of the day, it still seems to be a traditional headset. Yes, it's going to be more comfortable. Yes, it's more compact. Yes, it's going to have a higher resolution and better battery life and stuff. But you know, in 8 hours day by day use is a big step to ask. We know also that this headset is going to have high resolution color pass-through. That means that you're going to be able to be aware of the world around, and you're going to play with it also to enhance AR applications, where you're going to use these cameras as a point of view, for example, in the real world, and you're gonna be able to add all the different holograms and stuff. So, waiting for the proper AR glasses to arrive, developers are gonna be able to have a platform to actually work on it. And that's pretty cool. But yeah, about that, we also had new informations for the price of this headset. That if before it was rumored to be around the $800, I actually thought it was $699. It seems like it's gonna be much higher than that. And that's kind of a bad news on a way, because for us gamers that we want an high-end headset and we were really looking forward to the Project Cambria to have an alternative to it. You know, it might not be a great idea, but it seems they're gonna push the price much higher, around the $1,200, $1,300. At the end of the day, we saw other competitors going for the similar price. So it's not an uncharted territory, and many companies are really willing to pay for it. Professionals willing to pay for it. And we know the high-end VR enthusiasts with the Pimax experience are willing to pay for it. By the way, are you scared about the price of Project Cambria? What are you willing to pay for a real mixed reality experience? Let me know. But this wasn't the big news, the big revelation or report, because from the Informer, it seems like the Meta is going to push up to 4 different headsets in this period from 2022 to 2024. 4 different, and that's a lot. Of course, including the mixed reality headsets like the Cambria and its successor. Because yes, they're already working, of course, on a successor for it. Because it seems like things got a bit troubled during development, and they had to set back some of the specs for Cambria to then focus in the future to a more feature-ready headset. But Cambria will be the first iteration of it with many more sensors to actually start to develop of this new platform. We know at the end of the day that the end goal of Meta is to create a metaverse. To create a metaverse, you have to have better interaction with people. That's why face tracking, eye tracking, they're all very important, and they all are gonna have to arrive to the consumer market sooner or later to actually create a real metaverse and not just a place where people don't have legs and their faces are completely dull. By the way, we have names and code names for all these headsets. So the successor to the Cambria will be called Funstone and is expected in 2024. And there are two version successors of the Quest 2 instead that are gonna be the Stinson and the Cardiff, with expected release in 2023 and 2024. Now, they also noticed that there were gonna be big changes in architecture. We knew that before Meta was actually working on a processor made by themselves, like Apple is doing with the XR1, for example, but then they had to ditch everything and just stick with Qualcomm. So probably we're gonna see an XR3 in the future, an XR4 or whatever in these next generation headsets. But I'm pretty sure we're gonna see a game where we see the Cambria bringing some features and then a year after having a Quest 3 with the feature of the Cambria, the most important ones, added at a lower price, of course, to push forward the VR adoption. But yeah, Meta is investing big in VR, so I don't doubt that there's gonna be more headsets in the future. Cambria is one of those for sure, and next generation Quest will arrive for sure as well, because we're already 2 years after the first release. And yeah, some games are starting to need a little more power for it, but for sure they're not gonna ditch the platform just yet. Is it time to ditch the Quest 2 and stop buying the Quest 2 because other things are gonna arrive? Well, absolutely no. Again, Project Cambria is gonna be more than $800. That's said directly from Meta. So unless you wanna put all your money there, Quest 2 is gonna still be the best option. And the Quest 3 may arrive at the end next year. So yeah, there's time to wait, and it's kind of pointless to do so when there's a big platform like the Quest 2 working very well with many new games arriving in the near future that you don't want to miss. But yeah, that was all, guys. What do you think about it? What are the specs that you would like to see in a Quest 3? What are the specs that you're expecting in a Project Cambria successors? Because we pretty much know already what's going to happen with the Project Cambria. But yeah, I wanted to make this video because this info really gives an idea of the investment the Meta is putting on these headsets and all the R&D behind to actually make it possible. Because yes, they're spending big in VR, because making VR headsets is not easy, it's not cheap at all, and if you want to bring up better tech possible, well, that is gonna cost. And there are big competitors coming, so they better be ready. If they ask me if I want to have a Facebook login or a PlayStation Sony login, well, of course I'm gonna go with that. If there's a Valve login, for sure I'm gonna go with that. Apple, I don't know, I'm not an Apple guy, but yeah, I'll rather go with Apple than with Meta. For privacy reason, for example. But yeah, I'm not a Meta hater. I really love what they're doing. We are here talking about VR still right now because of them. So of course, it's important to have them in the game. But yeah, there's competition coming. They need to be ready, and it's an interesting lineup. But yeah, that was all, guys. If you liked the video, like. If you didn't like the video, dislike. Subscribe to the channel for more VR tech. Little of a channel join button down there. Turn further also the Patreon. Thanks all the Patreon and join the channel, of course. And I see you guys next video. Thanks for watching.